show. It's what I know. They bring in all these boys and girls all around the whole wide world. Prison show is what I know, but here we go. Prison show is what I know. They took me from my home. I can't get back.
Imprisoned Show is a show set out to educate the public about human trafficking. It features expert opinions, people, organizations, events on issues surrounding human trafficking around the world. Hello viewers at home, my name is Bukola Oriola and thank you for tuning in to Imprisoned Show today. As you can see, we are outside, so I'm screaming. Please pardon me, I have to speak loud so that you can hear me at home. We're talking about human trafficking. The show focuses on issues of human trafficking around the world. As if you don't know before, human trafficking is the modern day slavery, and it's something that affects everybody around the world, and millions of people are being trafficked around the world. So please tune in today because I have two important guests with me here. They are Emily Weiss, the board secretary for the Enitan Story, and Angela Okafor, the board vice chairman of the Enitan Story. Enitan Story is actually the one using Imprisoned Show now as its advocacy and educational program. So you'll be hearing from them what this organization is about in a minute. Thank you so much for coming to Imprisoned Show, and congratulations, you just got your tax exempt status.
Yes.
Is that correct?
We are legit now. We can.
Yep, we did that. We are not yet 1 year, and we are proud to say we have gotten that.
Yes.
Good.
Yes,
So now you can really help those who are out there that you want to give help to.
Exactly.
Right.
Okay, so can you like tell us briefly what this Enitan Story is about?
Well, Enitan Story is all about advocating for victims and empowering survivors of human trafficking. Basically, we have three forms of trafficking, and we have labor, we have sex, and organ trafficking.
Yes.
And they are all happening. It could be by your side, your household, in the church. It's everywhere. Eventually, everywhere around the world, it's happening. So there's no denial to that.
So do you think it's really, really important to be talking more about this issue and educating basically?
Yes, it's very, very important for every one of us to know about, be aware of human trafficking. Even the kids should know that there's human trafficking out there, and they are also very much in danger of human trafficking.
Okay, and
Yes.
Emily, you created flags recently?
We brought just a kit in and helped our kids at the church on a Wednesday night.
Which church is that?
The United Methodist Church of Anoka. We helped the youth group make flags, and what the flags stand for, it's just they make a flag of their country. So we all had American flags that we were making, and we just talked to them a little bit about human trafficking, but at their level. We didn't get into the sex trafficking at all. We just got into things to look for. You know, it could happen right in your neighborhood. You know, this is why we teach kids about stranger danger and being aware of your surroundings when they're outside. And, you know, just explain that the Midwest, where we think it's so safe and nothing's going on, is one of the hubs of human trafficking, which is kind of scary. I mean, right in our own backyards, it could be happening. Our neighbor could be, you know, somebody down the street. You know, and we also sort of got into, this doesn't mean you are exempt from chores. That is not what we're talking about here.
No.
But that, you know, we need to just be aware that of, you know, of human trafficking.
Did you think that making that flag really, you know, opened their eyes in any way?
Yes, they were not aware that something like this could still be happening. We kind of got into that, back, 100 years ago with segregation and slavery, and they brought up Martin Luther King even, but that was back then, and they were floored to know that these things could be going on. Still going on with just people that we might know, and we just don't know it.
So that brings me to the issue of sleepover, right? Sleepover with kids. What is your take on that? When kids come home, what would you like to tell parents? When kids come home and they want to go to sleep over at their friend's house?
I would like to, for my kids, when they come and say, oh, I want to go sleep over at so A or B house, for me, I would want to know, the parents know what they are into, who they are, where they worship, or what they do for a living. Know them, relate. I want to know them one-on-one. I don't just want to let because it's sleepover and it's a friend, you're a friend in school, you can go. No, it has to stop. Parents should know the home, the parents, the people that their child, they are releasing their kids, their works to, before letting them to go on sleepover.
Yeah, I think it's a lot different too when you're in a larger community. In a small community, you kind of grew up with those people, you kind of know those people just because you see them almost every day. Whereas you don't know who your kids' friends are, you don't know who their parents are, and that's very important to, maybe a first step would be to have a dinner party with the people that you think your kids want to be friends with and their families, and just get to know them that way, and then you can get into, okay, well, I know you, I trust you. Now it's appropriate to have a sleepover.
Okay, mind you, another caution that I want you to shed light on. Even though you know these families and you know these people, and still your kid wants to go to sleepover. Meanwhile, sometimes even somebody can be the trafficker. So, what caution would you think parents should put in place? Just to make sure, even though we know, because parents traffic their children are used to traffic one another. So what kinds of caution would you put in place, or ask parents to put in place just to put that on check so it doesn't happen? Would you talk about giving a call to the place randomly when the kids are there, or
Yes, making sure that you check on your kids at intervals. Give them a call, check on, let them put your kids on phone, you speak to them, know that they are safe, hear them, dictate if they are safe, if there's something wrong, because you can actually know if there's anything going on from the way a kid speaks to you on phone.
Yeah, I guess I've always, and it depends on your resources that you have, but when I've sent my kids to sleepovers of people that I do know, they have a cell phone that I ask them to stick down in the bottom of their bag. I give them a list of phone numbers to contact, and make sure they have, my phone number, the next person in line, the closest person that might be able to get to them, and that way they have someone to contact. In case of an emergency. I don't really get into the trafficking part of anything, but just to be safe, or if you feel weird, if you're not comfortable at all there, you call home, you get out of there, we'll make up something. We'll just say, you just say you were not feeling well, and we'll get you home. So there, in those instances, it's okay to make up an excuse. I'm just not feeling well, I want to come home. And that will alleviate any danger, trouble, whatever it is.
Okay. The Enitan Story, you say you advocate for victims and empower survivors. Can you give us a little bit more information about that?
Yes. We want to partner with many different organizations around the world, really. Not just here in Minnesota, not just in the United States, but around the world, all over. Yes. And we just want to help to those people who need it the quickest way that we know how. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel. We're just trying to get help for those people, for those victims. And then we also provide resources for the survivors so that...
through our services?
Yes, yes. You want to talk?
Through our services, we do referrals, outreach, we do educational programs. We also do the Imprisoned show, which is a very big component that we're using to reach out to the public out there to know about what we are doing and how to help the victims that are out there, and also to empower those who are already victimized, who have already been victimized and all that, gone through stress and sort of different type of trouble. It's not easy to just come out and relate to the public. So we help them to go back, relate back to the public, and find their way to life again.
Okay, so what kind of specific, do you have like specific services that you are rendering to these people, like maybe the survivors? Do you have like a specific service that you are rendering?
One thing that we do is every month we have the Empowerment Circle. It's the fourth Friday.
Every fourth Friday of the month.
Starts at 6 p.m. And it's just a community outreach. We have different speakers come in. One month we had how to author your own book.
Yeah.
So we had somebody come in and just talk about how to do that. And we invite the whole community. So it's not just survivors or victims that come in, but the whole community. And then at that point we sort of give a little bit of teaching of how to be aware of human trafficking, as well as whatever the topic is for the day.
And we also talked about training on human trafficking.
Yes, training.
Which we also did in the empowerment cycle. We teach the public the danger, how to identify a victim. Because it's not written on anyone's forehead that I am a victim. So there are some clues to look out for. When you attend such our empowerment cycle, you will be able to get to know these clues. To know who is a victim, whether your sister, whether your neighbor, whether a friend, anybody out there, you can be able to identify them.
I will hold the thought. We'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Emily Wise. Please join Bukola in the fight against human trafficking by partnering with the Enitan Story. Their mission is to advocate for victims and empower survivors of human trafficking. For more information on that, you can go to or email info@enitan.org. Once a month, we have the Empowerment Circle. You can find more about the Empowerment Circle on our website. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for staying with us. If you are just tuning in, this is Imprisoned Show. Oh, can you hear the noise of the car? I'm outside with these people. In case you can't hear me, let me scream. I'm outside because it's nice outside in Minnesota. So if you are inside, I know you'll be watching this sometime, not right when we are doing this. So, but if the weather is nice outside, just run outside and run. Okay, welcome back. I have Emily Wise, the board secretary of the Enitan Story, and Angela Okafor, the board vice chairman of the Enitan Story. They're talking about the organization and what the organization is doing to help victims of human trafficking and domestic abuse. And mind you, these folks, they're helping victims from all over. So that is so cool. So one of the things you are doing is community gardening, right?
Yeah.
And this summer you have a community garden going. Can you tell us about that garden? And who will benefit from the garden?
Okay. We have our garden going on right now. We planted some ethnic seeds already at Anoka Tech. They're there growing beautifully, waiting for
pot.
in the pot. So by June 1st or June
Yes, June 1st.
June 1st, yeah, we will have it in the garden.
Okay.
And our garden is here at Anoka.
Yes, and it's called the
And it's
Harmony
called
Garden.
the Harmony Garden.
Okay.
So, and our goal is to reach out to victims, shelters, so that they can have the flow of ethnic food.
Yeah, we want to just provide, you know, the people that are in shelters right now, and many other locations, but mostly shelters is who our main target is right now. The goal in the future is to get out and expand and target and have more people involved in this. But the shelters, there's women from and men from all over the world that come to these places, and they're not getting the food that they're used to. And so our goal, yes, is to provide those foods, those vegetables that they might have gotten in their country, so that they feel more comfortable,
More comfortable.
that they feel like, you know, they're being
They're
taken
home.
care of, that
Yeah.
they're home. Yes, and that's a very important part of recovery is to just have a
feel
safe
of home.
place. Yes, yes,
Mother's food, we
yes.
call it. Yeah.
Okay, so people like the general public welcome to visit the garden.
Yeah,
you know,
everyone
when
is
this
welcome.
is going on, and we understand that your backyard is also going to.
Oh
be
yeah,
used
my
for-
backyard is there for anything, any day, anytime.
Okay,
Pretty
so
soon we'll be working on that.
so do you want people to come to your home or just go to the public
No,
garden?
let them just go. Yeah, people. I would like them to go to the public garden.
Okay.
I would
Okay,
like
so
them.
you've heard it. Go to the public garden, the Harmony Garden
Yeah,
in
in
Anoka.
Anoka.
And it's starting June 1st at the
Yes.
garden.
Well, and we want people to come visit, and just, if you're curious to see what kinds of vegetables we're growing,
Yeah.
come and take a look. We need volunteers to come and help
And
us
help us
maintain
do the
this
garden.
garden, water the plants, you know, give them the food, pick the weeds. We
Weeds
need,
up, we need
lots
all
of
hands on
volunteers.
deck.
Yes.
Okay.
So please come to our garden.
And the victims and survivors will really be happy.
Yes.
Certainly.
summer.
Certainly.
Okay, thanks. And then another thing you are doing, you were talking about the vision you have for the future as you grow with empowering survivors specifically. Like can you talk more about the empowerment fund, or how you hope to put survivors back on their feet to be able to integrate back into the community
Yeah.
and be self-sustainable?
Yeah, like in the future, we would like to provide funds, available funds for these survivors and victims out there. Like during the just past Christmas, we make available some money in terms of gifts to some of the survivors. Some are outside Venezuela. You know, we just want them to feel not just only by mouth or referrals, but have, you know, they can take this money and solve their personal problems.
Okay, how do you mean their personal problems?
Well,
Like you want to buy some personal hygiene, personal things for your body, like perfume. You want to buy pad, you know, things like that.
yeah, I mean, one thing we try to do right now, you know, we are just starting, and we do what we can for the people out there. So like as you were saying, during Christmas we sent a gift so that they might have a small Christmas, and just, again, to help them feel somewhat
Love.
normal, in love, yes. But our goal in the future is to really expand on that and have more funds available, just to help people get back on their feet, to help them get a job, maybe go back to school, and to just help them get back into the community.
What about
Like some of
starting a
them that,
business?
yeah, some of
Right.
them that are well skilled, we want to bring out the best in them. We want to, if you want know how to braid hair. We want to help them establish their businesses.
Okay.
And if there's any other thing you're skilled in, why not? We are there. We can help you be on your feet, make you feel relaxed and integrate better to with the public.
Some of the victims, have records because of the nature of what they were trafficked for, and so it's hard for them to get a job, to get back into the community and be accepted back into the community. Yes, so our goal is to provide resources for them, to provide funding for them to overcome the past things that they were involved in and just be part of
the community.
Yes,
the
exactly.
part of, wherever they are.
Okay. Thank you so much. Do you have any last word for victims and survivors out there? Oh, and before that, do you help men?
Yes,
No.
I'm just gonna. Yes,
Yes, certainly. Our door is open to everybody. Men, guy, women, children, ladies, single, married, everybody. We help everybody. It's not limited to the ladies and mothers and women alone. Guys.
And you also said you help people from not just within the state of Minnesota but outside Minnesota. So do you have people that you work with outside of the state
Yes,
of
we
Minnesota?
have a guy that we worked with. He was at Georgia, and I know people will like, man, yes, it's happening to everybody. It's happening out there. Be you a man, be you a woman, it's happening. So this guy at Georgia, we helped him out.
Right. It's if you feel right now that you have nowhere to go, nowhere to be, no one to help you, you do. We will help you. We can help you. We'll find people to help you.
We'll put the number on the screen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Enitan Story, we are there to help out. So call us. Other organizations can reach out to us.
Yes,
Our
and then
doors are open to
other
yeah,
organizations
yeah.
like clinics. Do you think
certainly,
clinics
because
should be calling you?
yes, because we know that lots of these victims, they go to clinics, they go to hospitals. So clinics and hospitals, feel free, contact us. We are there. We can give our help.
What kind of help for clinics?
From the clinics,
Yes.
we can make referrals.
We can also train people that are in the clinic how to recognize signs of somebody that has been trafficked. We can give them resources to give to these people that they see daily so that they might be able to get help.
That's knowing the clues, identifying the clues.
Yes. That's maybe one of the first spots that a victim is recognized is when they're going to the doctor. Well, why aren't you getting the nourishment? Why aren't you getting, what's going
Why
on
are you
in your
not
life?
well
Yeah.
dressed, like in the winter? Why are you not putting on jacket? Why are you not putting on boots? Why are you putting on slippers where your flip-flops where you're supposed to put on boots? Why are you wearing spaghetti where you're supposed to be putting on jackets during the winter? So these are some of the clues the nurses and the doctors should look out for, and those that are constantly in fear. They don't want to talk to anyone. So those are clues also to look out for.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what would be your last words? Your last word. What message do you have for victims who are out there that need help right now?
Find someone to get you help. And again, as I said earlier, there is people out there. There are people out there who are here for you, who want to help you. It can be safe. I know it feels very dangerous right now, but it can be safe to get help. You're not alone. There's many people out there, and just there is a possibility for a new life for you, definitely.
And Enitan Story is there to help.
And yes, we are there to help. Yes.
Irrespective of the race, the color, be you black, be you white, be you brown, whatever it is, we are there.
Man or woman?
Yes, men or women.
Thank you so much. Okay, about the girls in Chibok that were kidnapped last month in Nigeria, what is your response to that?
You know, it's a horrible thing that happened in Nigeria. People here in America, there's a lot that we can do. There's a lot that people can do all over the world. Praying is one of them. Praying goes a long way. You know, if anybody knows of contacts or ways to get a hold of these girls, there's numbers to call, police departments. Let somebody know. If you have a tidbit of information, get it out there. Get it to the people that need to hear it. In the meantime, we just have to keep praying and keep hoping that these girls will come back safely.
Angela, you are from Nigeria.
Yeah, I'm from Nigeria, no doubt about that. But it's very, I must tell you, it's very, very, very painful to see innocent kids who know nothing that is happening in the community. These kids, they've done no wrong to it, no, but to warrant such a wicked act.
And they were taking their final
and
exams.
these kids were writing their final exams.
How
Imagine
how
that.
important is that exam?
The exam they were writing is the exam that that would take them. Is a step to entering the university or the college. And you see what happened? These people just came and adopted these girls. It's not only painful to the families of these girls, it's painful to the whole world. To the whole world. I myself as a Nigerian, I'm very, very, very bitter about the event. And I'm praying and I'm calling out to viewers out there, if you know anything, any link to these girls, anything at all that will link to getting these girls out from the dangers they are, because they are, I tell you, they are really in danger. They are in danger. If not being molested by now, we don't pray that they are being, or they are already dead. We don't want to think about that. I, for one, I don't want to believe, I don't want to think that they are already dead. So my prayer, I'm urging the public, begging that they should, everybody, if you know any clue, you have any clue that will link to these girls, please do. The police are there, the government is there, and thank God for United States. They are out there in Nigeria, and they are out there to the neighboring countries, Chad and Cameroon, in search of these kids. So please, do not relent. Do not say, my daughter is not there, my sister is not involved. You don't know if your daughter or you yourself will be the next victim. We don't pray so. So please, join us. I'm a Christian. I've been praying, and I believe with God, we will see to an end of this.
They vowed to sell the kids. So, in terms of trafficking, do you think that these kids will be sold into sex trafficking or labor or organ trafficking?
Yeah, I think they will, if actually they are being sold, definitely it will be for sex or labor. Mostly labor. Mostly labor. And these girls are very innocent.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Emily Wise. please join Bukola in the fight against human trafficking by partnering with the Enitan Story. Their mission is to advocate for victims and empower survivors of human trafficking. For more information on that, you can go to or email info@enitan.org. Once a month, we have the Empowerment Circle. You can find more about the Empowerment Circle on our website. Thank you for your time.
The FBI would like to work with survivors of child sex trafficking and survivors of child sexual abuse images, meaning pornography, to participate in and or inform a number of their efforts. This is a release that came out today to survivors. So if you are a survivor of child sex trafficking or a survivor of child sex abuse, please go on the Imprisoned Show website. We are going to have these details in there. FBI wants to work with you in terms of how to provide help. Especially they want help. FBI is looking for survivors to help inform operations cross-country and the after effects. They also want to structure and they also want to have a structure and duration of participation of 12-month commitment to sit with a working group in order to provide help, and then they will not be able to pay for consultancy fee, but they will be able to reimburse for transportation and some other little expenses like travel and lodging. And then they will also like such survivors to be able to come and speak. Really, they said you don't really have to share your story if you don't want to share your story, but they want your input in order to be able to give help. So please, we have this information on our website, imprisonedshow.com. Go on there and get this information if you're interested, and contact the Office for Victims of Crime. Thank you.
This is the Kids Against Trafficking segment. This is Sophie Ajembi's a flag from Nigeria, and she's 6 years old.
This is Petra Ajembi's flag, which is also of Nigeria, and she is 8 years old.
Thank you for sending in your flags.
Kids, please send in your flags.
Call the world wide.
We light this candle in honor of victims who have lost their lives as a result of human trafficking, and we hope that their soul rests in perfect peace.
Prison show. They took me from my home when I was just so young. I don't know who I am. I'm supposed to be your son.
Hello, my name is Emily Wise. Please join Bukola in the fight against human trafficking by partnering with the Enitan Story. Their mission is to advocate for victims and empower survivors of human trafficking. For more information on that, you can go to or email info@enitan.org. Once a month, we have the Empowerment Circle. You can find more about the Empowerment Circle on our website. Thank you for your time.
Prison show.
You said you work with an organization, you support an organization out in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that organization and how you got involved?
Well, the End It Movement is a giant program down in Atlanta that is all against human trafficking, and they have big supporters like famous people like Lecrae and just all these amazing like famous people. And I got involved because my mom went down there and was like, hey, check out this program.
And what have you been doing with the program?
I have been donating money, watching the videos, writing papers, telling people about it, just trying to get people involved.
You've been writing papers. What kind of papers have you been writing?
Persuasive essays to send to like senators and all these different types of people.
Okay, and you plan to organize a fundraiser for them this weekend?
Yes.
Okay. What do you hope to, how much do you hope to raise that day to support the organization?
How much?
Yes, how much do you hope to raise? Like, how much do you think you can raise to send to them?
100, 100, 200, as much as I can get, I'll take and I'll donate.
And how long have you been involved with this organization?
3 years?
Have you been able to travel to Atlanta, or you just support them from here?
I haven't been there yet.
Do you plan to go?
Yes.
Good, thanks. So, do you have a message for those who are trapped out there in labor trafficking or sex trafficking?
Don't let people push you around. Try to get out.
Hello viewers at home, my name is Bukola Oriola and this is a Imprisoned show. Today we came to the Coon Rapids High School. There is an event being held by the Anoka County Sheriff and the Anoka-Hennepin schools focusing on sex trafficking. It's called the Sex Trafficking Forum. And there are lots of people from the community who came for this event. There are several people, the commanders from the Anoka County Sheriff's Office, students, youths, everybody is here. Plus, there are lots of resource tables here today for people to get information about this issue. And you are going to be hearing different people talking. So stay around and hear their views on human trafficking, specifically sex trafficking. They also talk about the safe harbor law that was passed recently in Minnesota and how we can help victims and treat them as victims instead of prostitutes, and how to provide services to this kind of people. So stay tuned and listen to all these great speakers, hear their views. The county attorney is here today, Attorney Tony Palumbo, and the county sheriff, Sheriff James Twalt, and many other great speakers talking about this issue on human trafficking.
Even after a career in law enforcement, honestly, I had no idea the extent of modern-day slavery going on right out in the open, right flagrantly occurring right in our communities, with no one really watching and not enough resources to truly put a dent in it. Starting out, we should really get into the 101. What is sex trafficking? And it's the sale of adults and children into commercial sexual servitude. It's forced or bonded labor. Ultimately, we are talking tonight about modern-day slavery. It's the world's fastest growing criminal industry. It is second only to narcotics in the entire world, and it's rapidly closing that gap and expected to pass it because humans are a reusable commodity.
Little girls don't daydream that one day when I grow up, I want to be a victim of this. And if they are dreaming and daydreaming that, something's going on. There's something wrong with that. At Breaking Free, we call it what it is. It's an extension of slavery. Modern day slavery is what it is. Even if a girl's okay with being bought, you cannot sell a human being. It's against the law. So to see the websites that we see posting and having these little spots for you to sell slaves, how dare they? Isn't that a violation?
To what degree is it occurring? This is where I really started having a hard time with it. We like to think this is just a third world country issue. This isn't happening here. But instead, we know it's happening all over the world. There's millions of people being victimized every day. Nationally, the estimates are 300,000 people being victimized. Statewide, now this is where it starts to get scary for us as Minnesotans. We don't want to hear this, but it's the reality. In Minnesota, 8,000 to 12,000 people being victimized daily. Locally, we don't really know what the exact numbers are because, quite honestly, we haven't had the resources to be able to identify how bad the problem is.
I really want to say this is a community's issue. This is not a one person's issue. This is not a urban issue. This is all of our issue. Even if your child has not been involved in this, this does affect you. Because out here, there are predators preying on individuals and they could care less where they come from, what color they are, whose child they are, and how they were brought up. They pay to do to them what they want to and do not look at them as human beings.
Can you believe that they took me from home? Can you believe that they took me from my home? Can you believe that this could happen? I don't know. Oh, oh, oh. I'm just a little boy. Nobody.
Now, within that first 48 hours that they spoke about, a youth is approached not only by a perpetrator as far as a seller, but they're also approached by a buyer. So one of the two will approach them within 48 hours. Last year alone, we worked with 510 victims. 100% of them were below poverty level. 80 to 90% were in need of safe, affordable housing. 69% were women and girls of color. 66% were minors dependents, at the time of intake. 70% of them were from the Twin Cities or the urban area. 30% were from rural Minnesota. So this doesn't discriminate, as we said. We have international and domestic victims coming through our doors. Now that's just the ones that we were able to do an intake on.
So some signs that the victims might display if they're being lured into this trafficking or if they are involved in trafficking. And keep in mind, early on, oftentimes, and there might be some better statistics from some of our other experts that come up here, but there's been situations they're still living at home. This is happening on evenings, on weekends, but things to look for are the evidence of that being controlled. New older boyfriend or girlfriend, habitual runaways, again, evidence of new clothes or expensive gifts, those bruises or other signs of battering, other signs of somebody controlling them and the fear or depression and the fact that they're going to be trying to hide some of these other things.
And right away, I just need people to understand. The pimps, the traffickers, because that's the nicer name for it, they recruit kids in the areas where they're at. So libraries, a big pimp's not going to walk in with a feather cap and a Cadillac, big jewels all over him and a long gold necklace, and he's not always black, which everyone thinks that's a stereotype. I'm going to send a kid that looks just like you into the library to study next to you if I'm a pimp, because I know you're not going to talk to the big bad wolf. I'm also going to send a female if I'm trying to recruit a female, because see, you're likely to talk to a young lady of your stature and that looks like you before you talk to me. So the methods that they're using nowadays is really, really cunning. They have to stay ahead of the law enforcement, so therefore pimps will even have girls that are working regular jobs. They're in foster care. They're actually in the system working because they need to find out information. And pimps will have one or two of their girls having legit jobs in areas, seeing what's going on to stay a step ahead.
As I like to think when I send my kids off to a high school football game or to a school event, it's a safe place. The reality is they're going where the kids are, and that's where they're going to be looking for any kid who looks maybe a little despondent or vulnerable or responds to a compliment. In this day and age, we also know a huge part of it is social media. They're looking for the kids on the internet. Why? Because that's where our kids are. I can't emphasize enough, if you have another takeaway, as a parent, as a person who has any kids in your life that you care about, know what they're doing online.
Just like Stockholm Syndrome, there's a relationship built with the abuser. And she does believe everything he tells her. The invisible chains are shame, addiction, threats of violence. Trauma bond is built, like I said, abuse, rape, threats to the family, that's very real. My pimp actually told me that if I told anybody at 15 that he would go to my mother's house, cut her head off, and give it to me on a platter. I had seen him beat so many women that I really believed he would do that. So I stayed quiet.
We had a case, one of our detectives received a phone call from a victim whose trafficker was in jail. The detectives did a great job, got this individual locked up. The victim called the detective and said, I'd like to talk to him. I'd like to talk to my boyfriend. He's in jail. Why? Because I'd like to go outside and have a cigarette with my girlfriend and I want to make sure it's okay. That's control. And that is the absolute psychological hold that they can have on these poor kids.
So the seller is one part of it. The buyers, we need to hold them accountable. As I just was talking to Miss Carey, I said, I lived here for 8 years with a guy that bought me on a regular basis, right off Hanson Boulevard. And I thought that was funny when I got off because it triggered something. And I was like, wow, I was here for 8 years with a trick who took care of me and my kids. This has been happening.
So what do we do here in Coon Rapids? I'll tell you what we do. We arrest, or we sting and arrest Johns. That's that demand piece. The money is the fuel, right? We have to address the money. If it's profitable, it will continue. We have to make human trafficking unprofitable. We investigate to find and intervene on behalf of the female victims. Those words are by choice. Intervene. 10 years ago, we would have said we're going to find and arrest prostitutes. We don't say that anymore. Words matter. The older I get, the more I understand how important the language matters. And we're getting there. Human Trafficking Forum, completely new vernacular, and I hope that that takes hold.
You know, one of the ways that human traffickers, sex traffickers control kids that are caught in this is to threaten them with prosecution. They say, hey, who's going to listen to you? If you go to the cops, you're going to get turned in, you're going to be prosecuted, not me. I'm going to be gone. Well, thankfully, a group of advocates, understanding this, went to the legislature and got passed a couple of things called the Safe Harbor Laws. Okay. The Safe Harbor Laws, passed in 2011, 2013, said that actually they treat sexually exploited kids who are under 16 as a victim. They are not delinquent. They are not the kids. They are the victim of sexual exploitation. And what they did is those kids that are 16 and 17, they said that if they are caught in this kind of a situation and there is an arrest for it, they will be diverted into a program to deal with their particular issues. They will not be treated as delinquents. They will be diverted into a program. And that certainly includes sexually exploited youth and sex trafficking victims in child protection statutes also. So what that means is kids who are caught in this vicious cycle are now being treated as kids who need help. And part of that safe harbor law also was to create a victim-centered response to sexually exploited youth, using recommendations from the Safe Harbor for Sexually Exploited Youth pilot project. So in other words, the state, through its agencies, are working with people who work with these kids to come up with some solutions, how we're going to address this problem as we go forward.
When they come to John's School, we have survivors come up and talk. In this John's School, they sit all day to learn about their role in this. Now, we also said that having John's School was an educational piece for the buyer. Why do you want to train the buyer, people said? Well, we had to take a look at what if they were generational buyers? What if their fathers, grandfather said, this is how we're going to make you a man. We're going to buy you a woman. And this was a handed-down tradition. We're going to take you out and make you a man today and get you a girl. And they bought someone. Why would we expect this man to know different if this is what he's been shown? Domestic violence, the same tactics of power and control are used on women and girls in prostitution that are used on women and girls that are involved in domestic situations. And power and control is what it's all about.
If you take anything away from this, make sure you take away two things. Is one, the importance of treating the victims of sex trafficking as victims. And number two, I want you to not focus on geography. I'm here speaking on behalf of Coon Rapids because that's what I know. But if you're thinking it's a Coon Rapids issue, you've missed the point.
And this is a great resource for anyone connected to any Anoka County school, not just Anoka-Hennepin. You can call for shelter resources, food shelf resources, or any other intervention.
Prison show.